Oh, awesome. We are now live streamed. Woohoo!
Woo.
And with me today is David Campli of Campli Photography in Malvern. How you doing, David?
Hi, Stacie. How are you? Good afternoon.
Awesome and good to see you. I have not seen you since summertime.
You're
And
right.
for the crowd, I would like to say that David and his wife are very enjoyable, fun. We had drinks together at Francie's house, and we were talking about local businesses. And the point of me starting this for Facebook and Chester County, Delaware County, is to help local businesses during this time. And I love talking to people in general. I love doing this. And David Campli is an excellent, excellent candidate for our podcast or video for today because he has been a staple in Malvern for years, if not decades.
Ooh,
and look at that. Beautiful. Is this
that's a fun one from, that was maybe a year ago when we did Light the Night Up for breast cancer.
Oh, yeah.
We did pink everywhere. It was in October during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And that was, decided I better get out there and take a picture of the front of the shop.
It's beautiful. So why don't you talk to us, your audience, about the 4 different areas that you focus on and specialize in, and how long you've been in the business?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. This is our 30th year in Malvern, which is kind of amazing for me to think about. Our sign actually says established 1989, but we moved into Malvern in the spot that we're in September of 1990. So it's been a long haul, and last year we did a little renovation to the front of the building just to keep it up to date. But
beautiful.
So yeah, so our 4 little main areas of focus really is we start off with a big portion of our work being weddings and events, which has been a super big challenge right in the last few weeks, dealing with all the folks planning weddings. Then we do a good portion of our business is portraits of all kinds, from cute, cuddly little infants and puppies all the way up to family pictures and special event type photos. And then we do, go ahead.
This is gorgeous. I've never been inside your studio. I am coming in now. This is it?
That's a view from the front door looking in. And the left side is a framing and consultation area. The right side is where we do sort of our in-person selections with our clients. And then another area that we do a lot with is not as well known, but we do a lot of high school senior portraits for a couple of local schools. That's our little plant wall that we just did last year. It's a really fun little area that I just started doing one day because I went to Terrain and I saw that live wall that they have, and it was just incredible. So I had one. I just had to have one, so I went and did one.
Very cool. How long did that take you to make?
That was probably a 2-day project. You know, we started with some pieces of plywood, and then we put a spacer between the wall, and then we put some moss on the plywood, and then we just started drilling holes and put all that stuff came from Hobby Lobby at like the 50% off sale, because I really didn't know if it was going to work.
Right. Well, it works. It's gorgeous. That's awesome. And
So senior high school portraits is a big part of our work. And then about 15% of our work is commercial photography, which, you know, you don't really ever see that in our studio. You don't see that displayed on our walls, but it's everything from headshots for companies and advertising photography of all sorts. And so, you know, those 4 categories keep us busy in most times.
So that's awesome, because you bring up a good point. So headshots for like realtors per se, or for LinkedIn, anything like that, people can call you for.
Yeah, the one on the screen right now that says commercial, that was taken over in the Atwater area, and it was in an office building over there. And we do lots of things like that. That's a shared office building that the tenants of the office building can use the lobby as their space. And so we did several people from that company there.
Oh, nice. Okay. And you bring up a good point with the wedding. So what is going on now when people are rescheduling their weddings? What have they said, like when they get back to you, do they have another date set, or how are you working around that?
That's a great question. One of the things that we are really fortunate about right now is every single one of our wedding clients has postponed and not canceled, which means they're all having a wedding.
Good.
They've all pushed back to, almost everyone has pushed back within the calendar year of 2020 right now, with the exception of one person has moved into January of 21. And so, you know, it's a lot of stress for a lot of brides and grooms and their photographer as well, but they're dealing with it as they're dealing with it. And we have a live Google Doc that we share with all of our brides now that we put up a couple of weeks ago. And when they're working on their new dates, they just go to my Google Doc that I share with them to see what dates are available and where they can try for. And that's been working out really well.
Awesome. That's smart. It's something that you would never think about.
Yeah.
That's good that you're already ahead of it. That's
I
nice.
never thought about it until all of a sudden we thought about it.
Right, until we had to.
So we had to.
Oh my gosh. So for now, everybody's under quarantine. No one's going out. How are you adjusting your business for everybody out there?
Well, from the standpoint of taking pictures, we are shut down. I've had a lot of friends reach out to me and say, hey, why don't you do that thing that's happening up in Boston where they're doing portrait sessions
Outside?
from 10 feet away. I thought it was a really good idea, and the money does go to charity, but I'm concerned for, number one, for the health and safety of everybody, but I'm also concerned, I don't want people to think of me as I'm out there trying to do something to make money when everybody else's business has to be shut down. Right. So whether it's for charity or not, I just decided to stay away from that. We're still, I'm connected to my studio, so I can dial in and process photography. I just can't take any pictures.
Right.
So really, we're doing what everybody else is doing. We're staying home and behaving ourselves.
Now, did I read correctly that you had offered to work with older photos? So photos or videos that people had in the past. Are you doing anything with that?
Well, one of the things that it's up on the screen right now, which was Show Me Your Favorite Campli, was a blog post that we started about 10 days ago, I guess. And what it's about is I'm trying to connect with people to show me the pictures that I have taken of their family or of their wedding or of their event. I go back a long way, right? So 30 years as Campli photography and 10 more years before that working locally, so almost 40 years. And so many people have sent me really touching stories of the image that I took of them in 1991 of their kids and why it was so meaningful. And so we're going to do a blog post about it soon, and kind of feature some of those. It's really fun, and I get a couple of emails every day. So I probably have about 25 already.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Because I love that. Like when we're talking about your business, it really is all about the relationships and the stories. And when you look at these pictures, you see the happiness and the different, like the engagement portrait or the family portraits, the people on the beach. Like, it's so cool that your livelihood is tied to these moments that people have for the rest of their lives.
It's a very fortunate art, business, whatever you want to call it, because it's so many different things that I get to have fun. I've had fun my entire career, and there are a lot of jobs out there that people don't get to have fun with, and I'm having a great time.
True. Let me ask you this: do you go down the shore?
Oh my gosh, I love down the shore.
I don't know why I said that.
I love down the shore, and for a long time, all of our advertising for down the shore used those particular words because that's what we say in Philadelphia, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. We don't go to the beach.
We say it.
Yeah. The people in California go to the beach. We go down the shore.
Oh, that's right.
Every year I do a bunch of beach portraits. I love doing them. It's been part of my repertoire for my entire career. It's just, there's nothing better than leaving my studio on a Wednesday afternoon at 4:00 and having my feet in the sand in Avalon or Ocean City or Cape May at 6:15. And then doing sunset portraits and turning around and going home. It's fantastic. I just love doing it.
So you may have answered my next question, which is, what's your favorite part about the process?
Probably the stories, the storytelling. I love photography. I love gadgets. I love all the lights. I love all the cameras. I love all that stuff. But when it really comes down to it, it's the stories that I love the most. That's why I feel like I've been so touched with all these stories that people have been sending me in. it's a single piece, a single image. It's not movies, it's not video, it's a single image, and I get to see the story and hear the story of somebody's life.
Now, who
Oh,
took
look
the
on the
picture
screen.
of you and Valerie? That's an awesome picture.
That was a recent article that we were so happy to have done about us for our 30th anniversary in business. And it was on Savvy Mainline. A lot of you know Caroline, and she's been so good to us, and we love her blog. This was a reflection about our 30 years in business.
Wow, really, really nice.
If you don't get it now, you should sign up for Savvy Mainline. Terrific. It's everything that you want to know about the main line.
Very cool. And we will, and listeners or watchers also do the same, savvymainline.com. Okay, so in ending, I told you ahead of time, I gave you about 5 seconds, Evie, now, preparation. So James Lipton, I love Inside the Actor Studio. No, I'm not going to ask you what your favorite curse word is, but I do want to pick your brain on a couple things.
Sure.
So what shows are you possibly binge watching on Netflix, or that you got into that you never thought that you would look at?
I never thought I would look at Tiger King.
Love it. I love it.
And we finished it last night.
Was it sad?
My wife can't watch it like in its entirety. She has her phone there sometimes, and she's looking at Facebook or doing something else. But we have been watched it. We love Ozarks.
Yes.
Those are the two most recent ones.
Same. I just watched the last episode of Ozark. It was, whenever you think like you can't crank up the stress enough, it does it. It was unbelievable.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. All right. So what book are you reading now, or do you want to read in the very near future?
A lot of my books are technical, so I'm not a reader generally speaking, but I'm always reading an Adobe Photoshop manual or Lightroom or stuff that most people would never want to read.
A real page turner.
Yeah, really. It'll help you fall asleep for sure.
Yes, that's better than Ambien for me. All right, so have you taken up any new hobbies now that we're all under quarantine, outside, inside, anything?
Well, one of my biggest hobbies always has been working around the yard at home. And so if I could show you outside, it looks amazing in my front yard right now. That's nothing really new except for drinking a little too much of the Campli brothers homemade wine that we've been dipping into almost every night for dinners. I usually don't do that, but I have been.
Why not, right?
Why not?
And that leads me to my next question. So have you been experimenting with drinks? What's your favorite drink during this pandemic?
So I'm a beer wine guy, but I do like a good old fashioned. And you really can't make your own good old fashioned like you can at a great bar. The bars around Malvern can make the best old fashions.
Yeah. What do you think of the Brick and Brew?
Brick and Brews, old fashioned, Alba. I mean, every place that we go to all around the area, San Nicola, all the rest, fantastic places. Christopher's, cool. Every single one.
I wish we could get that.
I can't do it like they do it.
No.
I can't.
All right, well, let me see. What shows, what book, new hobbies, favorite drink? I think that's it. David, I want to thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's been fun having me with you, Stacie. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. And what is your website for everybody? It's
campliphoto.com, and we're on Facebook and we're on Instagram, Campli Photo as well. And so a lot of my stories on our Facebook page and on our Instagram page are just personal fun stuff. We feature a lot of photography on there, but our stories are usually what I'm doing around town.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Have a great day, David. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Take care.